business.
Time now for Sports and the Law. Clippers All-Star forward Blake Griffin could miss the next 4 to 6 weeks after fracturing a bone in his right hand throwing a punch. USA Today reports it happened when Griffin got into a fight with Clippers equipment manager Matthias Testi in Toronto on Saturday. Sources told Sam Amick that Griffin and Testi, who had been close friends, argued at a restaurant before the altercation. ESPN saying that Griffin hit Testi, who then left the restaurant. Griffin then reportedly followed Testi outside, hit him again. That's not how dinner would go if I was out with Steve Moskowitz, I'll tell you that. There would be no swings, no swinging. Would there be?
Absolutely not.
See, that's what I like to hear. All right, let's, Steve Moskowitz, our sports and law expert. Testi, what case does he have against Blake Griffin?
He's been attacked. He could sue him. Now, they're buds. They probably won't. There might be a little private settlement. But, you know, Blake needs some anger management. This isn't the first time. Like when he hit that guy in Vegas, when he took the picture too close to him. And Blake, the reason boxing gloves were invented is not to protect the other guy's face, to protect the puncher's fist. And he's valuable, well, at least until these games when he's been out with the leg problem. But if you're valuable equipment to the team and you injure yourself, you've really hurt the team's reputation. There's a lot of problems here, and it's an excuse to get rid of him.
There is speculation that Testi could be fired or lose his job over this because somehow he has helped create a situation where one of their stars can no longer play. Would he have a wrongful termination?
Oh, if they call me if that happens.
Okay.
Because we have a great case. He was a victim here. And the fact that the star hits the victim, once again, you can't say, you know what? Your face got in the way of my fist. How dare you? You're fired. Oh, boy, what a suit that would be.
This happened in Toronto. How does that change? You know, does Canadian law take over in all of this? How does this work?
It would be a combination. He'd have a change of venues where they could do it there or here. And what his lawyer will do is see where would he be better off. But again, my bet would be is he's going to receive a nice payment that nobody's going to know about.
All right, let's move to our next story. A second case deals with the estate of the late Raiders owner Al Davis. The courts found that the estate must pay the government $2.5 million. This deals with tax returns from the early 1990s. Davis sued the IRS in this. What was his original claim? Did he not want to pay these? Did he feel he didn't have to pay?
You know, Jim, I'm glad you asked me that. I just happen to have here the actual case.
Really?
Yeah, it's the actual case. Here.
Let me take a look at this. I'm going to have to read through it,
This is the actual
sir.
case. And what happened is he said, well, okay, he has a bunch of things, including breach of contract. When the appeals court, in their infinite wisdom, said, no, they're going to go ahead and reverse, they remanded, which means now he can open these other areas because the court specifically said, we're not going to tell you, but you have other options. And the first one, you take a look at the breach of contract because the IRS promised them 60 days. Then they acted before that because the statute of limitations was going to run. That is the first place for him to start.
All right, so he was given a path. He was told
Yes.
he does have other options. So there's a chance this isn't over.
Oh, this is not over.
And his estate is going to have to go back and get something done.
No, it's not over.
All right, that's not so bad. I want to move to our third story because this is another tax-related one. Soccer superstar Leo Messi and his father are being charged with 3 counts of tax fraud in Spain. They're accused of defrauding Spain out of $4.4 million in unpaid taxes. They could receive nearly 2 years of prison time if found guilty in this. So it's an image rights payment that they say is being funneled through offshore accounts. Explain what's happening here.
Okay, this is a bum rap for the Sun. First of all, remember back in the States when there was a race car driver that was accused of the same thing and he beat it. Here, what's happened is he's gone ahead, relied on his father's advice, and then there's a question. Now, bear in mind, in Spain, they do things differently than here. So the prosecutors declined to prosecute him on fraud because there wasn't enough. The tax guys are still going after him. It would be extremely unlikely he would go to prison. Probably it'll be a civil settlement. But what's happened here is he said, look, I've done everything according to law, and the tax guy said, no, you're going to pay us. So this is a big deal for Spain because he's such a good player. It's tremendous press.
And maybe the best in the world. I've got about a minute here. Messi paid $5 million to the authorities to cover 2007 and through 2009, and then another $10 million to cover the next 2 years. Is he admitting fault?
No. What's happened here is that's the civil part. It's part of settlement proceedings. And in a criminal case, here or there, the prosecution has to prove that when the person did the act, he thought he was going to defraud the government. He intended to defraud the government. He's saying, look, I relied on my dad. He handled the business. I'm the athlete. If something was wrong, I certainly didn't intend to do it. That's a good defense in Spain or here.
That's a good defense? Maybe
Absolutely.
selling out dad? but it's good
No,
for
Dad's
you.
falling on the sword.
That's
for
okay.
son.
That's okay. There you go. That sounds it. Steve Moskowitz giving us the breakdown. Thanks, Steve.
Always
Thanks
a
for watching
pleasure.
Sports Talk Live. Here comes Sportsnet Central.